was so overwhelming to me. I got this card one day from this woman who is a good friend of my brother's but didn't even know me, and it just, it made me cry.
Nice.
And you know, those were the little blessings, just to know that there was people that didn't even know me,
Who
that
still
cared
cared.
about me. You know, I was just overwhelmed by people's compassion. I'm getting a little teary now, but
Well, yeah, you and me both.
I would go to, you know, because I would think I was holding it together pretty good
Right.
and have my little image, and I would be around someone at the cancer center, and someone would touch me, and I would just fall apart crying. And it was because of their compassion. It's just overwhelming to be touched by people that care about you, and they don't, you know, it's not like they have an interest in you, that they're getting something back from you. They're just caring.
It's
So,
amazing. Don't apologize. It's amazing human nature, though.
Yeah.
I mean, just when you think someone's the biggest jerk, someone else comes along who's the nicest person in the world, you know. And that's what helps you get through hard times, is when people don't know you and they're like, but, you know, I'm still here and there are people who care about you.
You know, I think that's also what touched me, was after being in an abusive relationship and your self-worth is challenged, to have people, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm worthy of someone caring about, I'm like, are they crazy? You know, these are wonderful people and they care about me. There must be something good about me, worthwhile.
Right.
You know.
So you touched on the abusive relationship. Tell me a little bit about that.
That's one I don't think I've completely finished dealing with. As far as that, I don't know what to where to start as far as what you'd like to know, but when I was in that relationship, I started losing myself, and I felt like a dead person walking around, just a body without me anymore. And I knew that I was going to lose myself totally if I didn't get out, but I kept trying to work at it because I really believe in marriage. And it was actually my son who helped me leave. And you're very weak at that point and susceptible to things, and it's really important to have people around you that are nurturing and caring, and you don't want people to just say anything just to be nice, but you want people that can talk to you in a loving way about that, or be there to support you or offer you advice. So it's really good to have a support system.
Right. So was this physically, emotionally, what kind of abuse was it?
It was primarily emotional. I was very afraid of my husband because he would be violent and destroy things around me, physical objects, took it out on pets. At one point we almost thought he killed the cat, and then the cat was revived.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was afraid of him in that way. And when you're in a relationship like that, when someone's being that way, you know you can't talk to him. It was like his head would be somewhere else. So then you think, well, I'll wait until he's calmed down to talk to him. But then it's so nice when you're in that, you know, where he's calm and being nice and loving, you don't want to ruin it. So it becomes a really bad cycle there.
So how did your son help you get out of it?
Well, it was probably a very traumatic episode for him because I hadn't been sleeping in the same room with my husband, and I was getting ready in the morning in the bathroom, and my husband came and told me that I better get my clothes for the day because he was locking the bedroom because I'd probably steal something, which I was like, where did that come from? And so I said, well, I needed time. I had no idea what I was going to wear. And it escalated to me taking everything out of my closet and throwing it out into the house so that I could get all of my stuff out of there, and him trapping me in the closet. It was a very upsetting thing, and my son woke up and came out and saw my clothes everywhere.
Right.
And so we went and got a U-Haul and went to a home that I rent out, and it happened to be vacant. And then after that, I tried to see if maybe it was just me, but I just told my husband I needed time, a way to get myself back. I was so shattered, and he pretty much stalked me, and it was
Really?
so hard because I couldn't get, I just needed to get away and get a peace of mind and just to calm down. And he just kept upping it and upping it and upping it. And that was very hard. I had my first panic attack at work and realized after he sent me an email that I couldn't get away from him. And I was in an office that had a glass front and I was on a glass window. And I felt like I was in a fishbowl, and I remember just kind of spinning around in my chair and not knowing where to go because I didn't know if he could be out there, or just realizing I was not going to get away from this man.
I think that that's what a lot of women who are abused fear. If they leave their husband, then they're never going to really leave him. He will not allow them to leave. So how do you get away, how do you distance yourself from that? And how do you really get away from it? If he's not allowing you to leave, how do you say, okay, you can't just say, I don't want part of this anymore, because he's not going to accept that as an answer.
Yeah. I don't entirely know the answer to that because he keeps popping in. At the point I couldn't get a restraining order because he hadn't ever hurt me physically. Just all the stuff around me, but they wanted him to have hurt me physically. So I couldn't even get that from him. I had the people at work change my email.
Right.
I had my phone number changed, and I had a male co-worker put the voice message on there. And he even left a message saying that he called to hear my voice and was upset that that wasn't my voice. He would come over and hide where I didn't know he was there.
That's scary.
Yeah. And I actually was afraid that he was going to kill me. So, but it was just one of those things that I just had to accept, that if I died, that was, you know, going to be it. I needed to get past that and to try and get my own life back. Fortunately, with my beliefs, I believe that I'm going to go to a better place.
Right.
But at the same time, you never want to have any kind of horrible thing from someone you love because your mind can't accept it. You're loving this person and you're getting back something different. You know, it's like that reaction thing for everything. There's a reaction. You expect certain things, but you get back something different. And for me, my mind just couldn't comprehend it.
And how long were you with him?
I was with him 5 years.
You didn't see any warning signs or any red flags, like before you got married, that were going at? Because people who have never been in an abusive relationship may not understand how this thing just like comes from nowhere. You know, a lot of people think there's something that you just don't want to see.
I think that is part of it. I actually think that there are some red flags, and because I believed in a relationship and everything, when he would act a certain way, I would think, he didn't mean that. You know, that was just one of those stupid things that comes out or whatever. And he was very charming, wanted, you know, when he wants something, he knows how to charm and get it.
Yes.
But then when he would get it, he could be so mean, so cruel. It's like in the Bible, it talks about Pharaoh and about how his heart was hardened. And I never understood that, never could understood that. And then I met Vic, and it was like, this is exactly what it, I still don't understand it, but I've lived through and experienced it, so I know it happens. But their heart can be so hard that...
And you didn't see any of this before you got married? Or you just didn't want to see it before you got married? Or did you think there's a lot of women out there, not necessarily in an abusive relationship, but in a relationship saying, oh, well, he doesn't do this, he's not responsible, he's not dependable, but I can change that. A lot of women think, but I can change him. I can make him be this way. I can make him do this. I'll let him learn that this is the better way to do it. And the thing is nobody's going to do it unless they want to do it. You can't make anybody do anything. He's not going to learn unless he wants to learn. So there was something that you didn't want to see, or did you think that you could change him, or...